Hey, I decided to do a wild quarantine diaries this morning. I broke free of the home and I took a walk to the local grocery store. Ended up buying some organic hibiscus tea. Didn't really need anything from the shops, but you've got to break free sometimes. You've got to break free. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling a bit more loopy as the days go by and just being in my own world, which is always fun. But I've had this thing on my heart for the last 2 days, and I haven't been able to reply to this person who commented on the danger of yoga. And so my next video, I'm just gonna loosely call the spiritual technology, and I want to reply to a person called Donatella who asked me what I feel was like a question that stirred something up for me, and it was around meditation. And can people use meditation as a crutch? Can it be something that a person's leaning on for survival? And I just wanted to leave this is what's been circulating in my heart. It's that we can use anything as a crutch. It doesn't matter if we've called it good or bad. We can have chocolate as a crutch. We can have 8 tablespoons of sugar as a replacement behavior. We could run on the mountain. And the danger of the healthy technologies and the spiritual technologies is that they're seen as good. But it's only in our own internal world that we know whether it's a good or a bad thing. And my example, and ironically, I'm really dressed actually for running right now. And there was a time in my life where I used to run on the mountain because I loved hitting the sweet trail. And I started working harder and harder in advertising, and eventually it got to a point where if I didn't run, it was a problem because my anxiety was too high, my stress was too high, I was too much of a cuck person. And so I went from loving to run to needing to run. And then that pattern repeated itself years later when I went from loving yoga to needing yoga. And I've learned from myself, even when it comes to spiritual technology like meditation, if I get to a place where I have the awareness that I need this thing, like if I don't do it, then there's going to be a problem in my life. That's the danger of any technology. It doesn't matter, spiritual, digital, good, bad, any of it. Because I feel like it's calling for a life change in that moment when you need something that you're leaning on. And so the message that I actually wanted to land, that's really just being in my heart, is that I feel like my greatest learning is that there's things beyond the technologies, beyond the running, beyond the meditation, beyond the breath work. And what's so much more important than those things is just listening. It's just listening, however you do that. Some people sit and drink a glass of wine and have a cigarette and sit for 25 minutes in the evening, listening. And if you just bring that skill of listening, which I agree is totally cultivated by spiritual technologies, but one can also just cultivate the art of listening. Listening to the heart, listening to the mind, listening to the body, listening to the intuition, listening to what's happening outside, listening to what's happening inside. That, for me, is the ultimate practice, to wake up in the morning and to listen what the calling of the soul is calling for. And beyond all the spiritual technologies is a place where, for me, the importance is the call and response that I have with God, the call and response that I have with the universe, because the universe can send me any technology that I need to use, which may not be a part of my subset that I'm using at the moment. Maybe something completely new like kite surfing, which gives me something. It's like how free diving came into my life. That is a beautiful spiritual technology that I never would have done if I wasn't listening, watching for the signs, watching things that are showing up, praying, getting on my knees and saying, God, show me what I need to include into my life now to bring back the fullness of joy. So that's just what I want to leave with you, is that for me, I love to remember who created all the technologies that we use, and rather go to that place and use technologies for a season from a place of love. And from that place, my life is kept alive, well, healthy, loving, joyous, and peaceful. So I hope, Donatella, that answers your question. And guys, just in this, I hope maybe you just resonated with that. I just had it on my heart. And so that's me signing out from a quarantine shopping out here in KZN. Much love. Bye.